Alrighty, YieldMax. All right, so this is YieldMax Group C. YieldMax, this is their monthly distribution and their weekly distribution announcement for Group C. And they've also included payouts for the 10th for Biggie and I believe Soxy as well. They're not a part of Group C, but they're going to be paid out at the same time. So I included them in Group C. If you don't like that, then let me know and we'll pray about it, right? All right, so let's move on. Let's quit clowning. All right, so Cony, we see that they have a distribution of 84-cent ULTI, 57-cent Fiat 63, YieldMax 14 cent, and YieldMax 16 cent. And we have some others that are listed in Group C that we will cover. So let's move right along. All right, so the EX date is going to be the 8th. And if you're looking at your calendar, that will be tomorrow, Wednesday. And they will be paid out on the 10th, which is Friday. All right. And just be as a reminder that whatever the current price is and whatever the distribution amount is, the price of that stock will be reduced by that amount. So, for instance, if a stock is closed by the market close the previous day before the distribution is distributed, for instance, $20, and if the stock was paying out $1, then the stock will pretty much drop to $1. Now, there's some other variables that can cause it to drop more, and then there's some variables that may cause it not, or catalysts, shall I say, that could cause it not to drop as much. So if it drops $1, you could have some negative news in the market, or the market could have a drop in the Dow. The S&P 500 could force it down more than $1. Or if there's a lot of buying power pressure, and there's some good catalysts in the market, you may not see it come down. But at least minimal, it's going to drop $1 depending on various factors. So let's move on. All right. So first on the list, as we mentioned earlier, Cony is paying out 83 cents. All right. So if you got $50, you can expect to get around 41.70. If you got 500 shares, did I say $50? I think I did. If you got 50 shares, you can get about 41.70 as a distribution payout. If you got 500 shares, you can expect to get around $416.95. If you have 2,000 shares times 83 cents, you can expect to get $1,667.80. If you happen to have 4,000 shares, which is what I have, so that's why I'm sharing this with you. Some of you probably already know the distribution amount, but you don't know how many shares I have or what you can expect to get paid out if you have these shares. So if you do have 5,000 or 4,000 shares, in my case, you would get $3,335.60 payout for Cony, which is this 83 cent. To my recollection, this is the lowest that Cony has paid out since their inception. I think the prior lowest was maybe $1, around $1 and some change. But this is the lowest, and it's to be expected because the market in December had, especially the last 2 weeks, had a huge pullback in the market and started to make a little recovery. So, but hey, 83 cent, you still can't beat that on your average paying ETFs that are out there. So hooray, hurrah. All right, let's move on. Fiat paying out 65 cents. So if you got 100 shares of this, you can expect to get around $65.30. 1,000 shares, $653. 5,000 shares, $3,265. ULTI. ULTI is paying out 57 cents this month. So if you have 50 shares, you can expect to get around $28.58. If you happen to have 300 shares, which is what I happen to have, so then I will be expecting to get about $171.45. If you happen to have 2,000 shares, that would be $1,143. and 10,000 shares, that would be $5,715. AMD paying out 34 cents. If you happen to have 100 shares, you can expect to get around $34.02. 1,000 shares, that would be $340.40. 10,000 shares, that would be $3,404. All right. PayPay or PyPy or PP, PayPal basically. They're paying out 43 cents per share. So if you happen to have 50 shares, that would be 21.32. 500 shares, that would be 213.20. 5,000 shares, that would be 21.32. All right, moving right along. Microsoft MSFO is paying out 37 cents per share. So if you happen to have 100 shares of this, that would be $36.67. 1,000 shares would be $366.70. 10,000 shares would be $3,667. Netflix NFLY is paying out 58 cents per share. So if you have 50 shares, you can expect to get around $29.15. 500 shares, you can expect to get around $291. 5,000 shares will give you $2,915. Nice payout. ABNY paying out 42 cents. So if you happen to have 100 shares of this, you can expect to get around $42.20 payout. 1,000 shares would be $422, and 10,000 shares would be $4,220. Biggie. Now these are the new, and this may be the first distribution, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the second, but I think it's the first one. So Biggie is a target 12 that's supposed to maintain the capital and also have a capital appreciation, if I'm not mistaken, while paying out a nice conservative dividend. I think it's supposed to have like a 12% annual return. So we can see that it's paying out 51 cents for Mr. Biggie. All right. So if you have 50 shares of Mr. Biggie, that would be $25.65. 500 shares, that would be $256.50. 2,000 shares, that would be $1,026. And 10,000 shares will give you $5,130 for Mr. Biggie. Next on it, the next of the target 12 is Soxy. It's paying out 53 cents. So if you have 100 shares of this, that would be $52.56. 1,000 shares would be $525.60. 10,000 shares would be $5,256. Very nice. All right. Now our weekly paying ETF of YieldMax. Here we have YieldMax paying out 14 cents. So if you have 100 shares of this, that would be $13.95. 1,000 shares would be $55.80. And 10,000 shares would yield you $1,395. Weekly paying ETF. Next, weekly paying ETF of YieldMax is YMAG. It's paying out 16 cents. So if you have 50 shares of this, that would be $7.89. 500 shares, $78.90. 5,000 shares would be $789. All right, nicely. All right, so once again, this is a brief cover of the YieldMax monthly ETFs distribution on Cony, Fiat, ULTI, YieldMax, and YieldMax. Yes, we can expect to get these paid out on the 10th. So, all right, enjoy. I'm out.